Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Comedy on this Wednesday with episodes of the Summer Steve Allen Show from 1950 and the news from that date. That was a Sunday, by the way. Also, a 75-year-old episode of My Favorite Husband starring Lucille Ball and Richard Denning, and the Henry Morgan Show from 1947, Morgan's Around the World Listening Post, and then Mr. Ace and Jane, Goodman and Jane Ace from 1948, and Lum and Abner. And that's all coming up here on this Wednesday. This is the 4th day of June, 155th day of the year. We have 210 days remaining until we get to 2026. It was on this date in 780 BC, the first historic solar eclipse recorded in China, 780 BC. Of course, it probably happened before that, just nobody wrote it down. An express train called the Transcontinental Express arrived in San Francisco via the first Transcontinental Railroad only 83 hours and 39 minutes after having left New York City. That's actually not bad time. Well, I mean, now you fly it a lot faster, but that's train. And then you didn't have planes, so what do you know? 1919, Congress approved the 19th Amendment to the Constitution guaranteeing suffrage to women and sent it to the states for ratification. 1942, the Battle of Midway began, one of the most decisive U.S. victories against Japan during World War II. During the 4-day sea and air battle, the outnumbered U.S. Pacific Fleet succeeded in destroying 4 Japanese aircraft carriers while losing only one of its own, the Yorktown, to the previously invincible Japanese Army. The patent for the automatic teller machine granted on this date in 1973 to Don Wetzel, Tom Barnes, and George Chastain. Does it irritate you when people ask where the ATM machine is? I mean, that's like automatic teller machine, right? Okay, in 1974, Cleveland Indians attempted an ill-advised 10-cent beer promotion for a game against the Texas Rangers at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. Cleveland ended up forfeiting 9-0 after alcohol-fueled mayhem and violence spread from the stands onto the field. It would be worse today. Jonathan Pollard pled guilty to espionage for selling top-secret U.S. military intelligence to Israel in 1986. And it was on this date in 1989 that Tiananmen Square protests violently ended in China's capital city, Beijing, with armed soldiers and tanks. CBS News correspondent Richard Roth near the edge of the square when the troops moved in on him and cameraman Derek Williams.
You hear that gunfire?
Fire, we do hear it.
Okay, we've got to get out of here. They're after Derek now. They're ripping away his camera. And they're coming for us. We're trying to move back and move away. I'll go!
Roth and Williams were beaten and arrested. They were released the next day in good condition. On this date in 1998, Terry Nichols sentenced to life in prison for his role in the Oklahoma City bombing. 2003, federal prosecutors in New York charged homemaking diva Martha Stewart with obstruction of justice, conspiracy, securities fraud, and lying to investigators. U.S. Attorney James Comey spoke with reporters.
Martha Stewart is being prosecuted not because of who she is, but because of what she did.
Stewart convicted the following March. She would serve 5 months in prison and more home confinement time after that. In 2010, Falcon 9 Flight 1, the maiden flight of the SpaceX Falcon rocket, it launched on this date in 2010 from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station Space Launch Complex 40. And it was 2 years ago today, 4 people killed when a Cessna Citation 5 crashed into Mindbank Mountain in Augusta County, Virginia. Passing away on this date in history of note, actress Dorothy Gish, actor Sonny Tufts, from the Mod Squad, Clarence Williams III, and Indy racer Parnelli Jones, who passed away a year ago today. Birthdays on this date include the wonderful actress Rosalind Russell, baritone Robert Merrill, actor Dennis Weaver, also Dr. Ruth Westheimer, the sex therapist and author. We mention her because she was so cute. She really was. Also musician Freddie Fender and Gorilla Monsoon, who fought Muhammad Ali. He was a pro wrestler, but he had a famous bout with Muhammad Ali, and that was just a hoot and a half. All those folks born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Turning to those still with us, actor Bruce Dern from Coming Home in Nebraska, 89 years old today. The Mamas and the Papas, Michelle Phillips is 81. Singer Elle DeBarge is 64. From ER and Falling Skies, Noah Wiley is 54.
What you want to do is pull that skin tight so that the vein doesn't roll. Go in low, bevel up. Once you're in the vein, you just pull this little gizmo out and tape it down.
From ER, Noah Wiley is 54 today. ECW wrestler and trainer Mikey Whipwreck, 52 years old today. Actress humanitarian Angelina Jolie is 50.
Tell me that you don't take that blade and drag it across your skin and pray for the courage to press down.
From Girl Interrupted, Angelina Jolie, 50 years old today. Also, actor Russell Brand turns 50 today. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 4th day of June as their birthday. If this happens to be your birthday.
We baked you a birthday cake. If you get a tummy ache and you moan and groan and woe, don't forget we told you so. Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Make a wish, dear, and blow out the candles.
Here they go.
Alrighty, on this classic radio theater with Wyatt Cox on a Wednesday, we are going to go to an episode of the Steve Allen Show. He did a summer show for CBS back in 1950 as the summer replacement for our Miss Brooks. So we'll go back 75 years to Sunday, June 4th, 1950. That'll be coming up next.
A wise farmer knows that he must get his livestock under cover to protect them from radioactive fallout. An attack may never come, but it's wise to prepare now.
Now on this Wednesday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we're going to go back 75 years to Sunday, June 4th, 1950, and an episode of The Steve Allen Show. Now, I know Steve isn't renowned for his national radio work, but they did bring him in for the summer of 1950 to be the summer replacement for our Miss Brooks. And so Eve Arden also was on this show. This was originally broadcast 6:30 Eastern Time on June 4th, 1950, 75 years ago today.
But I'm looking for Steve.
Look, lady, I'm rehearsing. If you don't mind, kindly close the door and run along.
Oh, evidently I came into the wrong dressing room. I'm sorry, Mr. Heifetz.
Heifetz? Oh, come in. Actually, I'm Jack Benny, but it's a natural mistake. And if I'm not mistaken, you're Miss Arden, Eve, isn't it?
It ain't Yasha. But But if you'll tell me where I can find Mr. Allen...
Please, we don't mention that name here. Now, I'll have to spray the room with sweet air all over again.
Oh, well, Mr. Benny, perhaps I should explain. Steve, you should pardon the expression, Allen, starts his new show tonight, and I'm supposed to help him get it underway.
Oh, Steve Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Steve, yeah. Well, Gene Autry has the room across the hall, and I think we'll find Steve Allen in the dressing room right next to it. That is, if Autry's horse is through using it.
Thanks very much. I'll borrow your sweet air and run along.
Goodbye.
Pardon me, but is this Steve Allen's dressing room?
If you were half a man, I'd thrash you for that.
But I'm not half a man, I'm a woman.
No help, please. I'll find out for myself. Now, what's the idea of barging into my room at this hour of the night without even knocking?
Well, I could say the British are coming, but actually that isn't...
Tell that to Steve Allen. He's dressing with Paul Revere's horse down the hall.
It's Gene Autry's horse, but thanks, that's the room I'm looking for.
You can't miss it, Eve. There's a watering trough and a bucket of apples right outside the window. Under the apple tree. There's a beautiful story behind that apple tree, honey. And if I ever get you behind that apple tree, I'll whisper it to you.
Well, that's very interesting, Mr. Marks, but I
You
really...
can call me Groucho.
Then you can call me Eve.
Then you can call me Adam, and let's get back to the apple tree.
I really must go now, Mr. Marks. Goodbye, Groucho.
You'll regret those words as long as you live.
Let's see, maybe this is Steve's dressing room. It's the last one in this corridor. Pardon me, but... Oh, sorry. I'm looking for Steve Allen. I must be in the wrong dressing room.
No, you're not. I'm just standing here in the corner so Autry's horse can use the makeup table. Television, you know. Miss Arden, may I present my roommate, Champion?
Oh, how do you do? It's a pleasure to shake your hook. But Steve, did I understand you to say he's your roommate?
Yes, this dressing room is known as the one that's shared by Steve Allen and Champion. I'm sorry, Champion and Steve Allen. He's such a ham.
Well, Steve, I certainly wish you luck on your first show.
Well, thanks, Steve. I'll be going on the air any minute now. We better get down to the studio.
Now, remember, Steve, the important thing is not to get nervous.
Yeah, I know.
And don't start biting your fingernails.
What do you mean start? I've been biting them all day. You see my little finger?
Yes?
That used to be my big finger. Oh, here's the studio. Sit right here in the wings. I'll introduce you later in the show.
The Steve Allen Show.
Yes, it's the Steve Allen Show transcribed featuring Eileen Woods, the music of Ivan Denmark. Here's truly Johnny Jacobs, our special guest, Eve Arden, and here's the star of our show, Steve Allen.
Thanks very much, and hello, everybody. To you elderly folks who are out for a nice, peaceful Sunday drive, listening to me in your cars and trying to relax, I'd like to say,
Look out for that truck!
this is a new program, as I think somebody already mentioned. We're just sort of feeling our way along here. So if nothing happens for the first 13 weeks, don't get nervous, because I'll be off the air by then. But it really is nice to have so many well-wishers. Jack Benny blew me to a big send-off party at his house last night, and oh, it was great. Jack was a swell host. Water flowed like champagne. And anyway, many of my closest friends were there to honor me. Louis B. Mayer, Clark Gable, Darrell Zanuck, Gene Autry's horse, Phil Harris. You know, I never saw Phil in better spirits. Or vice versa. Or vice versa. Of course, Eve Arden was there, too. looking as radiant as she did when we first met some years ago under rather romantic circumstances, I might point out. It was in a shoe store. We were... You got something against shoes? Let me see your feet. You take off your left shoe. I'm serious. Just take it off. We'll have a prize for you later. I'll make it worth your while. Go ahead. Just a second. Uh-huh. 6 toes. All right. You see, there's a reason for everything. I mean, this fella has got something against shoes. It's a bunion. Now then. Anyway, Eve Arden was at the party, looking as radiant as she did when we first met some years ago under rather romantic circumstances. It was in a shoe store, and we were in adjoining seats. She took off her shoe, and I took off my shoe, and first thing I knew, we were holding feet. But so much for romance. I'll just skip that and get on to something more important. See what I have. Yeah, here it is. Baseball score just sizzled in over the wires. Wilkes-Barre Orioles 0. Scranton Cleaners and Dyers 0. It's all tied up going into extra innings. So keep tuned to this station. We'll interrupt this program whenever we get another score on that exciting game. Incidentally, it isn't necessary for you to react to any of this stuff. However, I suppose it's only fair to tell you that I do get paid by the laugh. That isn't your problem. We'll let my grandmother worry about that. She's the one that needs the operation. That's all right. It's comforting to know that Granny's laughing. Of course, without teeth. But she's there. There's no question about it. Well, let me see what interesting items we have in the newspaper. Here's a beauty hint. Cucumber juice massaged gently over the fingernails will improve their growth. However, cream cheese rubbed on a bald head will not improve the cream cheese. You know, I was listening to the radio this morning. I heard some very interesting musical commercials. If I can get to the piano here, I'll show you what I mean. Here's a haunting little thing I heard on one of the programs. There's a great deal of sentiment to it, and if I may change the mood, I'd like to show you what I mean. Goes something like this. My sweet, it won't be long before my sweet falls, 'cause I'm gonna pursue her, and I'm gonna woo her with a can of Chef Gabanza's meatballs. Thanks, fellas. You were very exciting. Eileen Woods, come on over here. I think it's your turn now, huh? Listen, I guess everybody knows, but maybe there are 3 or 4 people who just got back from the North Pole and don't, that Eileen Woods had the lead. She did the part of Cinderella in the motion picture Cinderella, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You going to sing something from the score tonight?
No, I have an oldie that's being revived about now. Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered.
I'll listen to all 3 of them. Here we are.
I'm wild again, beguiled again, a simpering, whimpering child again, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Couldn't sleep and wouldn't sleep when love came and told me I shouldn't sleep, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Lost my heart, but what of it? He is cold, I agree. He can laugh, but I love it, although the laugh need. I'll sing to him, each spring to him, and long for the day when I'll cling to him, bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I. Lost my heart, but what
beautiful.
Well, let me see what we have in the mailbag tonight here. A card from a fellow in Chicago says, Dear Mr. Allen, what did you do before you worked in radio? Well, that's a pretty fair question. As a matter of fact, I worked in Chicago. I used to work for a telephone company back there a few years ago. It wasn't very hard work. I just did work about 2 afternoons a week during the summer. Pretty important job, though. I had my own office, and my own desk, and my own special telephone. I just had one thing to do. When somebody would try to make a 10-cent call for a nickel, I used to pick up my phone and go, well, there's no further score on that Scranton-Wilkes-Barre game. Let me see now, who else is here? Oh, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, I should like you to meet a very courageous young lady who braved the ridicule of the upper Nielsen rating set by consenting to appear on this program tonight. The star of Armis Brooks, Eve Arden.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Eve. Eve and Steve. Sounds like a nice team for one of those morning programs, doesn't it? And after tonight, it could happen to both of us. But it really is swell of you to come to my premiere, Eve. How do you like my setup?
Oh, it's just dandy. On the Armis Brooks show, my cast is sometimes predominantly female. Whereas with you and Johnny Jacobs and Ivan Ditmars and his boys, your cast is, well, it's so masculine. That's nice.
You like men, I gather?
I like men anybody gathers.
Thank you, girls. Well, we have one man with us tonight, Eve, who is ungatherable. He's a newlywed. Incidentally, he and his wife feel that they're facing a tremendous problem. You see, they both have motion picture ambitions, and they're wondering if two separate careers might endanger the happiness of their marriage. To dispel the fears of these newlyweds, Eve, I'd like to cite the case of two very dear friends of mine, top stars at the same studio. I won't mention any names, but when they were married, Hollywood thought they'd never have a normal life. But what happened?
We take you inside the glitter and glamour of a Hollywood studio and into the dressing room of screen siren Mona Meadows. Her producer effervesces enthusiasm.
Mona, wait till you read this script for your new picture. It's dynamite. It's the biggest money-making film of the century. And for your co-star, we're very fortunate in securing the services of that popular matinee idol, Stephen Hartbinder.
That ham bone? He turned down Cecil B. DeMille's last picture because they wouldn't let him play both Samson and Delilah. If I'm to be in this picture, Sam, you'll have to get rid of Stephen Hartbinder.
Well, that makes it rather awkward. He is your husband, you know.
Oh, yes, I forgot. I did have a memo on that somewhere. Well, the very least we can do is to cut his part down.
Yes, when I spoke with him this morning, he suggested we cut your part down.
Oh, that egomaniac. He's always tried to outdazzle me. At our wedding, he came down the aisle with a bigger bouquet than mine.
I've got to have a talk with you, Sam. Glad I caught you alone.
But we're not alone, Steve. You remember your wife?
Wife? Oh, yes. How are you, Mona? I never forget a face.
Dear Stephen.
Good to see you again, darling. I'm looking well. How have you been?
Well, I'll just run along and leave you two lovebirds together. Bye, Mona. Bye, Steve.
Goodbye, Sam. It's been ages since I've seen you, Stephen. Where are you living?
At our house. I'm in the north wing, you know. You still in the south wing?
Yes, it's lovely there this time of the year. I opened the windows this morning and it was just beautiful. Sunshine streaming in.
Sunshine? It's snowing at my end.
I half expected you might drop by sometime to see your child.
I have a child?
Born in January. I suppose I should have sent you a note.
A child. Interesting. What is it, a boy or an actress?
A boy. Come to think of it, he has your eyes.
Well, does he have my hair?
Yes, only it doesn't come off. And speaking of things that don't come off, about your part in this picture, Stephen.
Oh, picture? Oh, yes, Mona. You know, I've been thinking lately, perhaps if we could get together some night.
How about tonight?
That's fine. We'll meet in the living room at 7:30.
What part of the living room?
You'll find me. I'll drop little scraps of paper wherever I go. It's me, darling.
Oh, dear, Stephen. Celeste.
Oh, oui, madame.
Take Mr. Hartbinder's coat and hair, please. You seem depressed, dear.
Oh, can't help it. I was listening to the radio driving home.
Really? What's the news?
Doesn't look good. Scranton and Wilkes-Barre are still tied up, nothing to nothing. You know, I'm rather curious to see what my baby looks like. Seems to me you were shooting a picture on location at that time.
Yes, of course. With my leading man, Herman Fangschleister, I was quite busy.
But if you were busy on a picture, Mona, how could you...
Have the baby? Oh, I didn't have the baby myself.
Mona.
I adopted him.
Oh.
When the dog died.
Oh?
I gave him your name.
The dog?
No, the baby. We had such fun romping together, and I used to love the way he'd jump on my lap and bark at me.
The baby?
No.
The dog?
No, Herman Fangschleister. He's so playful. But, darling, let's just talk about you and me. Wouldn't you like that?
Oh, I don't know.
Then let's just talk about you.
Very well. Right now, I'm winding up a romantic film with Lana Latour. In practically every scene, she hurls herself into my arms, embraces me, and kisses me. How I envy her.
That's fine, but about my next picture...
Well, now that you mention it, Mona, I did bring the script along. You see, I rewrote it a little and fixed up your part. Now, get this. When the picture opens, there I am on stage singing a medley of 27 great songs.
Where am I?
You're in the audience. But for subtle dramatic effect, we don't show you. You see what I mean? Instead, we feel your presence. We sense your spirit.
Look, can't I put on a white sheet and sing the harmony with you? 27 songs.
Oh, no, that's where I go into my dance, Mona.
But what about
Well, finally the camera sweeps out to the audience and moves down the aisle to your chair.
Oh, and now they see me.
No, you've gone. You see, this scene is just loaded with pathos. Now, think of the emotions that run through the audience when they see that empty chair. Don't you get it?
I think I've been getting it all along.
Well, I keep looking out to the audience. The camera keeps showing that empty chair. I keep myself that you'll return. We get a close-up of the chair, and finally, sure enough, the curtain comes down, and you don't come back. Well, how do you like it so far?
Well, from what you've told me, I'd like to try out for the part of the chair. Stephen, I'm going to give Sam an ultimatum, and he'll see that your part is cut down to nothing.
No, that's what you think, Dumpling.
Dumpling? Why, Toodle, you haven't called me Dumpling since we were married.
And you called me Toodles. Oh, don't you realize what this means, Mona? We've been letting our silly careers blind us to the fact that we're still madly in love. Mona, my sweet, you may kiss me.
Oh, darling, let's forget the mad tinsel of Hollywood and live for each other.
Yes, everything will be just as it was. Tonight, we'll have an old-fashioned barbecue in the garden.
And first, a moonlight dip in the pool, diving from the high board. You go dive in. I'll join you in a moment, Toodles.
Yes. Hurry, Dumpling.
Hello?
Mona, this is Sam.
It's all settled, Sam. I'll be doing the picture alone.
Without Steve?
Come over for tennis tomorrow, and I'll tell you all about it.
I'm on the high board, dear. Here I go.
Oh, a perfect swan dive. Oh, Sam, I'll see you tomorrow.
Just a minute, Mona. You said something about coming over for tennis. I didn't know you had a court.
We have now. This morning I had the swimming pool filled with concrete. We haven't had time to dismantle the diving board yet.
I'll see you tomorrow then. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Sam.
Hello?
Why, Stephen, you're hurt.
It's nothing. Lucky I have thin skin. I can see you through my chest. Give me that telephone.
Why, who are you calling?
The Culligan Soft Water Service. The water in that pool is murder.
Now, once again, here is Steve Allen.
Well, thanks, John. That just about puts the ribbon around our little package of goodies for tonight. But before we tie the bow, I'd like again to express my sincere thanks to my very gracious neighbors, Jack Benny, Groucho Marx, and, of course, Eve Arden. And before you go, Eve...
Yes, Steve?
I know we've been kidding a good deal about money. However, we don't allow anyone to go away from here empty-handed. So, as you're walking out of here tonight, Eve, if you'll just look down in your hand...
Yes?
You'll find my hand.
Believe me, Steve, I wanted to be here tonight just for kicks. I loved every minute of it, and it's been great fun.
Well, it's mighty decent of you, Eve, but I have figured out a way to repay you. I'll go on your program.
Now you've spoiled everything. Good night,
Steve. You see, wonderful? Well, folks, I'd hoped that we'd wind up the show in a blaze of glory, but the fates have intervened. That Wilkes-Barre Scranton game is still tied up at the end of the 23rd inning, 0-0. I'm afraid we'll have to go off the air with... Wait a minute, I got the flash. The game is over, folks. Yes, in the 24th inning, the Scranton Cleaners and Dyers have won the old ball game by a score of 87-0. Now, wait a minute, here's the final line score. Scranton Cleaners and Dyers, 87 runs, 2 hits, no errors. Wilkes-Barre Orioles, no runs, 2 hits, 87 errors. Good night, everybody, and thanks a million.
This has been the Steve Allen Show with the songs of Eileen Woods and the music of Ivan Ditmar. Produced and directed by Al Spann, written by Joe Quillen and Lester White, the Steve Allen Show comes to you from Hollywood and is a regular presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
An Armed Forces recording of the Steve Allen Show, originally broadcast 6:30 Eastern Time on this date, June 4th, 1950, 75 years ago today. We'll have My Favorite Husband, which aired directly before Steve Allen, but in a moment we'll bring you the news of that Sunday 75 years ago.
There is a defense against radioactive fallout. During enemy attack, get to a shelter immediately. Stay there until local officials advise you it's safe to leave. Be prepared.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we're going to go back 75 years. Sunday, June 4th, 1950. These were some of the headlines in the newspapers of that Sunday. John M. Hightower, writing for Associated Press, reports U.S. policies toward Europe are undergoing a drastic change of direction. The new policy line calls for deeper and more permanent involvement of the U.S. in European affairs. That central fact stands out of Secretary Dean Acheson's reports and actions last week, following his return from the Cold War strategy talks with Western foreign ministers in London. The Senate Commerce Subcommittee prepared to report that big-time gamblers never give the suckers a break. The senator told reporters this will be the general theme of a bulky report on bookmaking, which will be filed with the Senate next week. Senator Wary, the Republican in Nebraska, yesterday accused President Truman and Secretary of State Aitchison of conflicting statements which confuse people about the dangers of war. Where the Republican floor leader told reporters that a statement by President Truman Thursday that the world is nearer peace than it is in any time in the last 5 years doesn't square with a statement of Aitchison that more, not less money will be needed in the future to arm Western Europe against communist threats. Republican Senator Thigh, declaring the communist in government row is destroying the government, yesterday proposed a conference of all GOP senators to thrash out a responsible party position on the issue. Senator Milliken of Colorado, chairman of the Republican conference, said in reply to questions about the suggestion that he would be glad to call for such a meeting if he gets a formal request. Hyde of Minnesota indicated he will submit one. 2 FBI agents returned to the U.S. yesterday from questioning Dr. Klaus Fuchs in London. Indications were he had his full story of atomic espionage, but no new lead on accomplices in this country. Chiang Kai-shek yesterday ordered the immediate execution of anyone in public service found guilty of graft. The order applies particularly to officers who graft off enlisted men or who pocket pay for non-existent soldiers. Persons who shield grafters also made liable for the death penalty. Ezra Stone, a television casualty, in that he's too big to play Henry Aldrich in the video version of The Aldrich Family. He hopes to make a new career as producer and director. Stone, now 32, has the voice to play Henry in the radio version, but he has matured so he doesn't resemble the average listener's idea of Henry by a mile. President Truman will open the 3-day session of the President's Council on Industrial Safety Monday in Washington. Secretary of Labor Maurice J. Tobin is chairman of the conference, which will draw delegates from all of the states, Puerto Rico and Hawaii. Governor Adlai Stevenson of Illinois will speak on Tuesday. K.T. Keller, president of Chrysler, says selecting a car is a lot like choosing a wife. It's her basic qualities which attract you if you're smart, Keller says. So it is with an automobile. Chrysler will observe the 25th anniversary of its incorporation coming up on Thursday. The refusal of retired Admiral Louis E. Denver, former Chief of Naval Operations, to accept Massachusetts Governor Paul A. Dever's offer of appointment as Port of Boston Director started speculation he might be a Republican candidate for governor. Denfield turned down the $15,000 a year post with a blast at political interference in port affairs. Some members of Dever's staff said it looks like the start of a political campaign. J. Albert Guay, 32-year-old jeweler, sentenced to hang June 23rd for the airplane time bomb killing of his wife, which resulted in the death of 22 other passengers, attempting to escape the gallows in Quebec by implicating others in the crime. He said he was only a tool for others. The Canadian Pacific airliner crashed soon after it took off last September. Guay was charged with placing the time bomb aboard the plane to kill his wife, 28-year-old Rita, to end a love triangle and collect her insurance. Superior Court Judge Kenneth Wyde Friday denied a motion by actress Barbara Bennett to compel her ex-husband Morton Downey to give her more visiting time with their 5 children. Judge ruled the motion was not properly presented in his court. And science has taken up the problem of the lost golf ball in a project that involves atomic energy, radioactivity, and Geiger counters. Duffers may be pleased to learn, although caddies may be peeved, that the B.F. Goodrich Company and the A.G. Spalding Company have come up with an atomic golf ball. The atomic golf ball unveiled at the Portage Country Club in Akron, Ohio. 2 top pros, Lawson Little and Jimmy Thompson, deliberately slicing the ball into the rough so it could be found by Geiger counters and the experiment a success. Dr. William L. Davidson, director of Goodrich Research, said the radioactive material embedded in the ball isn't enough to cause dangerous radiation, but enough to be detected by a Geiger counter. What the caddies will say about it now that they have to carry around a portable Geiger counter, another thing. And shades of King Solomon. Circuit Court Judge Ira W. Jane in Detroit grew weary after granting Mrs. Rachel Tucker a divorce from her husband, Walter, when the couple began arguing about who was going to get the Cocker Spaniel. The pooch, a Christmas gift of which Walter bought one half and his wife the other half, they didn't specify halves at the time. Judge Jane finally said impatiently, "Divide the dog physically between you. I don't care who gets which end." Tucker still haven't solved the problem. Oh, speaking of dogs, the Monticello, New York Fire Department thinking of changing the name of its Dalmatian mascot from Smokey to Stinky. Seems Smokey's a terrible fireman. He cowers and whimpers whenever an alarm sounds, flatly refusing to ride on trucks to fires. But he's a good watchdog. When a cat-like creature came past, Smokey rushed out barking. The cat-like creature turned out to be a skunk. 3 firemen deodorized Smokey. Their efforts were so far from successful that Smokey could qualify for his proposed new name. Those some of the day's top news stories from Sunday, June 4th, 1950, 75 years ago. On your radio next at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS. My Favorite Husband, Lucille Ball, Richard Denning. That's next.
Government officials suggest that every family store a 2-week emergency food and water supply in case of attack. Choose canned or dried foods that can be eaten without cooking.
By the way, that show had to have been transcribed with Steve Allen. Or maybe not. Maybe Jack Benny did drive in. His show had been replaced beginning this week by the Guy Lombardo Orchestra for a half hour. You had My Favorite, actually had Earn Your Vacation at 5:30, My Favorite Husband at 6, Steve Allen at 6:30, Guy Lombardo at 7, Hit the Jackpot at 7:30, The Pause That Refreshes at 8, Red Skelton at 8:30, Meet Corliss Archer at 9, and The Horace Heights Show at 9:30. So it was still a busy time, even though summer was a-coming in. And as we said, 6 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday, June 4th, 1950, we're going to hear My Favorite Husband.
It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball.
Jell-O, everybody.
Yes, it's the Gay Family series starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning. Transcribed and brought to you by the Jell-O family of desserts.
J-E-L-L. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings. Yum, yum, yum. Jell-O tapioca puddings. Yes, sirree.
And now Lucille Ball with Richard Denning as Liz and George Cooper. 2 people who live together and like it. As we look in on the Coopers, it's Sunday afternoon, and George is in the living room reading the Sunday paper. Liz is just coming into the room.
George, have you seen my... George Cooper, would you look at this room?
Huh?
What do you think you're doing with the Sunday paper?
Oh, what does it look like? I'm reading it.
But you've got it scattered all over the floor and the furniture. What are you going to do, paint the ceiling?
It's a shame a man can't read the Sunday paper in peace.
You mean in pieces?
Well, what's biting you?
Nothing's biting me. I was just looking at this room, that's all. Papers all over, ashes on the floor, you sitting there in your shirt sleeves with your shoes off.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Oh, nothing. It's nice to have a slob around the house.
I'm just being comfortable. Now, what difference does it make what the living room looks like? Nobody's going to see it but you and me.
Well, somebody might come by.
Oh, wouldn't it be dreadful if someone found out that our living room has been lived in?
Well, I don't mind if it looks like it's been lived in. This room looks like it's been died in.
Look, honey, I'm in my own house on a Sunday afternoon. Now, what am I supposed to do? Get dressed in my tux and read the paper in the hall closet?
Oh, what's the use? I might as well give up and admit I'm married to a mess cat.
What's a mess cat?
I don't know. But if they ever look for one, you're the large economy size. Oh, no, somebody's at the door. What are we going to do?
How about letting them in?
The way this house looks? Quick, George, pick up the papers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, let me do that. You put on your shoes.
What for? I don't have any holes in my socks.
George, Cooper.
Okay.
And roll down your sleeves and put on your coat.
We're going to feel awfully silly if it isn't President and Mrs. Truman.
Never mind. Hand me that ashtray. Oh, now, I guess the room doesn't look too bad. I'm coming. Yes?
There's good old Joe Thompson live here.
No, he doesn't.
But this is the address.
Well, you've made a mistake. Now, go on, beat it.
Flirt.
Well, President and Mrs. Truman, come in.
Never mind.
Oh, sit down. Oh, no, not at the piano. Well, put her there, President. Pardon my claws, I'm a mess cat.
George.
And how's Margaret?
Now, that's enough.
Oh, can I relax now, Liz?
I suppose so.
Good. You know, I hate shoes. There. You know, if I could get away with it, I'd never wear shoes again.
Well, you can always dye your feet brown and glue on some laces.
It's a good idea. I might try it.
What are you doing now? You're spreading the papers all over the floor again.
Well, where's the sports page?
Oh, honestly, George, you've got the room looking just as bad as it did before.
Oh, what's the difference?
George, I want to have the kind of house they take pictures of for magazines like Young Homemakers. This room belongs in Better Homes and Garbage. Oh, no, now that's bound to be company.
Oh, but where'll they sit? The Trumans have the good chairs.
Don't be silly. Wait till I look out the window. Oh, it's the Atterberries. Quick, put your shoes on. Get your coat. I'll pick up the papers.
Now, just a minute.
Hurry, George.
Nothing doing. I'm not getting tidy for the Atterberries. They're our best friends.
But I don't want the house looking a mess.
I'm not touching a thing.
All right. That side of the room is yours. I don't care what you do with it. I'm cleaning up my side.
That's a deal.
Here, you can have these papers on your hat, and these magazines, and this old tired coffee cup. There. Certainly glad I don't have to go through your side of the room to get to the door. Hi, Liz.
Liz, girl?
Hi, Iris. Hi, Miss Atterbury. Come on in.
We were just out driving and thought we'd drop in and see what you were doing.
Where's George, boy?
He's in his half of the living room.
Beg pardon?
Come on in, you'll see.
Hi, folks.
Hello, George. Oh, my goodness, what happened?
What do you mean, what happened?
Well, it looks like the room tilted and all the junk slid to one side.
Yeah, just look at that side of the room.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Atta boy, Mr. Atterbury.
What's going on, Liz? Half the room is neat and half is he.
Well, it's a little game George and I play called I'll take the high road and you take the low road and I'll have a junkyard for you. The clean half of the room is mine and that other half over there belongs to George, king of the hobos.
What caused the great divide?
Well, George just refuses to be neat. He says he wants the room to look lived in.
Oh, bully for you, boy.
Oh, bully for you, boy. Go on, Rudolph. Side in with him.
Yeah.
Well, why not, Iris? After all, George is just relaxing in his own home.
He's relaxing, all right, just like you do. Making a mess.
Making a mess. Well,
that all has a familiar ring to it.
Mr. Atterbury, would you care to join me in the hobo jungle?
I'd consider it a privilege. Where'll I sit?
Oh, just scrape around in the debris. You'll find an old orange crate or something.
Make yourself comfortable, Mr. Atterbury. Take off your shoes if you want to.
No. I'll take you up on that, boy. Oh, talk to my tailor. My trousers are getting so... that's it.
Drop your cigar ashes anywhere you want to.
On the rug?
Any place.
Gad, this is living!
Would you look at that sight, Iris?
It's disgusting.
Aren't we lucky? We're spending Sunday afternoon with the Slobsy twins.
I can't stand to look at them anymore, girl. Let's go upstairs.
Yes, Mrs. Cooper? Katie, you've been married 5 times. Tell me, how can you break a man of being sloppy?
You can't. Each of my husbands was messier than the last. Oh, you just got to face it. Women are neat and men aren't.
But why does it have to be like that?
I don't know. That's the difference between men and women.
Well, anyway, I'm not talking about a man. I'm talking about George. I'm going to break him of being messy. My name isn't Mrs. George Cooper.
You better do it carefully or your name might not be Mrs. George Cooper.
Oh, I wouldn't push him that far.
Remember, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Well, I don't expect him to sit up and speak. But maybe I can teach him not to bury his bones in the living room.
What are you going to do?
Well, Katie, it's time for drastic action. Now, my plan involves having Mother Cooper over to dinner tonight.
Mr. Cooper's mother?
That's right. You'll have to admit the plan is loaded with drastic.
But I don't get it. What will having her to dinner accomplish?
Don't you see, Katie? Mother Cooper is always looking for some reason to accuse me of being a bad housekeeper.
Yes?
Well, I'll leave the house just the way it is. She'll jump at the chance to blame me. Then I'll tell her it's her beloved son's idea.
It might work. He usually pays attention to what she says.
He always pays attention to what she says. I only know of one time he didn't, and she's never forgiven him.
When was that?
The day we got married. Now, don't move a thing, Katie. I want the old bear to see her cub in his native habitat.
Oh, she'll explode.
And how? There'll be 3 for dinner tonight, Katie. George and me and old Blockbuster Cooper.
Poor Liz has her problems with George, but there are some easy ways to charm a husband's heart and save his pennies. Here's one way to do it. Yes, you guessed it, with Jell-O puddings. And here's a swell new dessert to try. Coffee Scotch pudding, made with buttery brown sugar Jell-O butterscotch pudding. Just prepare the pudding as directed, using milk and strong coffee for the liquid. Chill, then fold in foamy whipped cream and chopped pecan nuts, and garnish with individual baked meringues. You'll find the complete recipe in leading magazines for June, and it's delectable, 'cause all 3 delicious Jell-O puddings are velvety, rich, and smooth as cream. Jell-O chocolate, butterscotch, and vanilla pudding, and they take only about 5 minutes to cook to satiny perfection. Get all 3 Jell-O puddings tomorrow. Find out why more women buy Jell-O puddings than any other prepared puddings in the world. That name Jell-O is a registered trademark of General Foods. J-E-L-L-O. And now back to Lucille Ball in My Favorite Husband. As we return to the Coopers, the trap is all set for Liz to change George into a neat, orderly husband with the unknowing aid of Mother Cooper, her mother-in-law.
Mother Cooper will be here any minute, Katie. I threw a little extra bait into the trap. A couple of empty beer cans and stuff.
Where's Mr. Cooper? I just looked into the living room and didn't see him.
Oh, he's in there somewhere. If you lift the right piece of junk, you'll find him. Oh, that's her. Mother Cooper, queen of the dust catchers. Well, she won't have to test any tabletops with her finger tonight. It's just as dirty as she's always hoped it would be.
I'll let her in.
Okay, gosh, this is a mother-in-law's dream, to catch daughter-in-law with her vacuum cleaner down.
It's all right, Katie. I'll get it.
All right.
Mother, come in.
George, my little baby. How
Oh, fine. Liz, Mother's here.
Coming. Hi, Mother Cooper.
Elizabeth, dear.
Gee, I'm glad you could come tonight.
George, you don't look well. How do you feel, baby?
I'm all right.
And how are you, Elizabeth?
Oh,
Now, George, you take care of me.
Nice of you to ask. I really feel terrible.
I couldn't stand it if you were sick, George.
Oh, don't worry about me. I won't pull through. How are you? Rotten? That's good.
What? Oh, wasn't I properly concerned about your health, Elizabeth? It's just that you never look sick. You look like a horse to me.
That usually goes as strong as a horse.
Let's go into the other room. You didn't tell me Mother was coming over, Liz.
Well, I wanted to surprise you, dear.
Oh, well, go on into the living room, Mother.
Yeah, into the living room.
I have to get some pipe tobacco from the den. I'll be right in.
Come on, Mother. Well, here's the living room.
Well,
what?
The condition of this room.
Well?
Elizabeth, when you had this fight, you didn't hurt George, did you?
I don't know what you're talking about. This is just a nice, comfortable living room.
Comfortable? Only a pig would be comfortable in this room.
Well, I can't argue with that. It's right from the old sow herself.
Oh, such housekeeping. When I think of poor George and the kind of house I used to keep for him, well, I won't say a thing.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm no longer a mother. I'm a mother-in-law, and I'm not one to step out of line.
Oh, go ahead. Why stop now?
Elizabeth, when you finally prevailed upon George to marry you,
Just a minute. I prevailed upon George.
That's what I said. And when that happened, I said to myself, Letitia, no matter what goes on in that house, you are not to open your mouth.
Is that what you said to yourself?
Yes.
It must have been hard of hearing.
You should be thankful, Elizabeth, that you have a mother-in-law who'll keep quiet about this. I am not going to say a word.
You're not?
No. Quiet, here comes George.
Well, Mother, I'm glad you came over tonight. What's new?
This is the most disgraceful-looking room I've ever seen. That's what's new.
Oh!
What are you laughing at, Elizabeth?
Oh, I've been battling George for days about the condition of this room. This is the way he wants it.
This is the way he wants it?
Yes.
Oh. Well.
What do you mean, well?
If George likes it this way.
I'm dead.
Well, I just think a house should look lived in.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, baby.
Pardon me while I go out and shoot myself.
I don't understand you, Elizabeth. Don't George's wishes mean anything to you? After all, a man's home is his castle.
Well, he ought to learn to pick up his drawbridge once in a while.
Oh, you're just being oversensitive, Liz.
Okay, I give up. Apparently, blood is thicker than dust. Go on, wallow around all you want.
Pardon me, a telephone for Mrs. Cooper.
Thank
I'll be
you,
right
Katie.
there.
Mother, I know it hurts, but there are 2 Mrs. Coopers now, remember?
Oh.
It's for Mrs. Cooper Sr.
This is not my day.
I'll be right back, George.
Liz, how do you always manage to get Mother so upset?
I don't know, I'm just lucky, I guess.
Well, she really likes you, Liz. You just don't give her a chance.
Yeah.
George! George, do you know who that was? Grace Davis. She's down at the station.
No.
Yes.
An old acquaintance of mine, Liz.
Oh, acquaintance, he says.
I heard him.
You don't mind if she comes over here tonight, do you, Liz?
No, Mumsy, bring her over. We'll all go in the living room and play Ring Around the Ash Can.
She's waiting at the station. I told her we'd pick her up. Will you drive me down, George?
Oh, sure, Mother.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
since company's coming, don't you think you should tidy up a bit?
Oh, heavens, no. Our living room wouldn't look lived in.
Yes, dear. Well, I did say George was right, but this is different. You understand, don't you, dear?
Oh, brother, do I understand. But George wouldn't be happy.
Well, now that I look at it, Liz, it is sort of a mess.
Another quick change artist heard from. All right, run along, you two. I'll fix the room.
That's fine, dear. Come on, George, baby.
Oh, Mrs. Cooper, I couldn't help hearing. Are you really going to fix the living room?
Of course, Katie, I'm going to fix it. Good.
What do you mean?
They want a house to look lived in. Well, when they get back here with their precious guest, this is going to be the most lived-in house in town.
Well, here's our house, Grace.
Oh, it looks lovely. I'm so anxious to see the inside.
Oh, you'll love it. Elizabeth is a fine housekeeper.
Oh, well, maybe I can do an article on it.
Oh, that's right. You're with a newspaper, aren't you?
No, not anymore. I'm with a magazine now.
Oh. Well, here we are. Go on in.
I can hardly wait for you to meet Liz. She's... Oh, dear me. What's that in the hall?
It looks like a wheelbarrow full of cans.
It smells like it, too.
Hey, who hung that old inner tube over the lamp?
George, I think we'd better take Grace down to my...
Hi, everybody. Come on in.
Too late.
Yeah, Miss Davis, I'd like you to meet my wife, Liz.
How do you do?
Put her there, Davis.
I guess we surprised you, dear.
Heck no.
Oh, from the look of that outfit, you must have been working in the garden or something.
What do you mean, working in the garden? I'm dressed for company. This is my best sweatshirt.
Oh,
I would have even worn my shoes, but I had ivy planted in one of them.
Always joking, aren't you, Elizabeth?
What's the matter with you? Something different about me tonight? Come on in the living room, Davis.
Well, I'm afraid we can't stay after all, Elizabeth.
Oh, don't be silly. I'm not busy. Come on in.
Is this the living room?
Sure, go on in. Just duck under the clothesline.
Liz, have you gone crazy?
Hey, watch out for that long underwear. I got my head caught once and it flipped. Flipped me clean over the piano. Remember, George?
You'll pay for this. Sit down, Grace.
I can't. There's a nest of eggs in this chair.
Oh, darn it. I told that chicken 100 times not to lay eggs in the living room.
Oh, now stop being ridiculous, Liz. We don't have any chickens, Grace.
That's a cat. He does imitations.
I think I'm going to faint. Let me sit down.
Well, there goes a dozen eggs.
Liz, this has gone far enough. Now, what's that chicken doing in the living room?
It's your fault, George.
Mine?
Sure, I told you to put more slats on the bedroom door.
Oh, George, this is the most wonderful household I've ever seen.
Oh, it's lived in.
Oh, well, I'd love to do an article on it. It would be perfect for my magazine.
Oh, you're a writer. Sure, go ahead, do an article.
Oh, would you write it? Your own story?
No.
Sure, why not? I'll call it We Live Like Pigs. Now sign it with my pen name.
May I take pictures?
Absolutely not.
Sure you can. Don't listen to him. Who you with, Davis? The Farm and Feed Journal?
No.
The Livestock Gazette?
No, I'm the editor of the Young Homemakers magazine.
Oh, no!
Yes, Lucille. What's the commercial caper tonight?
Tonight, Robert, I am a lady scientist and you are my assistant. A little scientific music, please, maestro.
How do you do, Doctor?
Oh, how do you do? Are you my new assistant?
Yes, what would you like me to do first?
Well, first, Well, first, I'd like you to clean up the laboratory.
Doctor, I understand you've just completed a very secret experiment.
I have? Oh, I have, yes. Yes, I've been working for 20 years on this experiment. I've given my life to it. Many's the night I've burned my Bunsen at both ends.
Tell me, what is your great discovery?
Well, come here and I'll whisper it to you. I have discovered Jell-O pudding.
But, Doctor, they've already discovered Jell-O puddings.
They have?
Yes, Jell-O puddings have been a trio of treats for years.
But that's impossible.
It's true.
Well, at least they haven't discovered my special Jell-O chocolate pudding. It's delicious with deep down chocolatey goodness.
Yes, they have.
Oh. I've been sandbagged. Well, what about Jell-O butterscotch pudding with that buttery brown sugar flavor?
They've discovered that, too.
They have?
Yes, and Jell-O vanilla pudding, rich and smooth as cream.
Oh, I wish I was there.
Oh, don't feel bad.
Say, tell me, have they?
Yes.
They have. Well, just for that, I won't give them my secret formula.
You mean all you do is add milk and they take about 5 minutes to cook?
You pig!
Well, whoever discovered them, they're a wonderful contribution to the world because Jell-O puddings are nourishing, too, and a swell dessert for the kids.
Oh, so was mine. Oh, I'm so mad I'm going to pour this into this. Good night, Bobbleman.
George, do you have the hiccups?
No.
Oh, George, I can't sleep while you're hiccuping like that.
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't help it.
Well, I'll try to scare you. That always works.
Oh, right.
I'm leaving you for another man. Oh, I can't scare you. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
Well, I've got to get some sleep. I'm going down to Miller's first thing in the morning. They're having a big sale on mink coats. That did it. Good night, George.
You have been listening to My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning, and based on characters created by Isabel Scott Rorick. Tonight's transcribed program was produced and directed by Jess Oppenheimer, who wrote the script with Madeline Pugh and Bob Carroll Jr. Original music was composed by Marlon Skiles and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The part of Katie the maid was played by Ruth Parrott. Watch for Lucille Ball in Fancy Pants with Bob Hope.
Say, listen to this.
It's new, it can't be beat. The grandest treat you ever did eat. Post Sugar Crisp. As a cereal, it's dandy. For snacks, it's so handy. Or eat it like candy. As a cereal, it's dandy. Or eat it like candy. Post Sugar Crisp.
Look for the red, white, and blue cellophane bag with the three little bears. That's Post Sugar Crisp. Today, enjoy this honey of a new cereal that's fun to eat.
Be sure to listen to Lucille Ball in My Favorite Husband again next week, presented by
J-E-L-L. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings, yum, yum, yum. Jell-O tapioca puddings, yes, sirree.
Bob Lamont speaking.
This is CBS, where you meet Lucille Ball and My Favorite Husband every Sunday night, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
$75 ago, Sunday, June 4th, 1950, My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball and Richard Denning here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. By the way, I need to mention that appearance you heard from Groucho was probably his last on CBS. It seems that the week before this aired, at the Beverly Hills Hotel, NBC, CBS, made sealed bids for the radio and TV services of Groucho, and it seems that NBC won. They got all the rights to You Bet Your Life radio and television, owned by Marx and John Goodell, plus the services of both men, Marx as a performer, Goodell as producer consultant. So there you go. And Groucho, of course, had a comment on the deal. He said, "It was a terrific fight, but I won." And mentioning a couple of other things, Mutual's Under Arrest show starring Joe DeSantis, that aired on this evening. It did, over on Mutual. You had, you had The Shadow at 5, as always. Martin Caine, Private Eye, at 4:30. Then The Shadow at 5, True Detective Mysteries at 5:30. Roy Rogers at 6, Nick Carter, Master Detective at 6:30. The Affairs of Peter Salem at 7, then Under Arrest. And then you had that. Okay, ABC, of course, with Stop the Music at 7 was their big thing. And that was about the only real show they had on that night. And we told you that. Let's see. Oh, we didn't even talk about NBC, which had on at, 6:30 was the Henry Morgan Show and The Adventures of the Falcon. Then 7:30, Phil Harris, Alice Faye, The Adventures of Sam Spade, an hour of Theater Guild on the air. and then the American album of familiar music. That's what was on the air on Sunday, June 4th, 1950. By the way, it's interesting. I'm looking at a newspaper article here from that Sunday, and it seems that Mrs. Theodosia La Barbera from Miami won Dr. Christian's 9th annual script contest. She got a $2,000 check for writing a script. It's a big contest. $26,000 today when you adjust it for inflation. So there you go. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the week, what we've got coming up. This is Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we'll have Westerns with Have Gun Will Travel, Gunsmoke, Frontier Town, and The Challenge of the Yukon. And then on Friday, we will have shows that ran on D-Day. Red Skelton will also have H.V. Kaltenborn with news, The Passing Parade, a D-Day special there, the Ginny Sims Show, Fibber McGee and Molly, and Columbia Presents Corwin, and, of course, we'll wrap it all up with Bob Hope. And the celebrity shows, the big-name shows, they were short because they curbed their shows just for the occasion. Now, on, let's see, that's Saturday coming up next with Orson Welles' Almanac, a special D-Day show, along with Arch Obler's Plays, Night, and then we'll have soap operas, The Guiding Light, Ma Perkins, Pepper Young's Family, Mary Noble, Backstage Wife, and Vic and Sade. And then on Sunday, I should say, we'll have an hour with Fred Allen, the satire on songwriters. We'll also have the Judy Canova Show and The Life of Riley. That's all coming up for the rest of the week here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, as I mentioned, this will be earlier, won't be for the same night, but we'll have an episode of The Henry Morgan Show.
There are two air raid warning signals. A steady blast of 3 to 5 minutes means attack is probable. A wavering tone or series of short blasts means take cover.
Time for some tasty, vicious, biting satire with Henry Morgan. And the Henry Morgan Show, as it was originally broadcast 78 years ago today, June 4th, 1947, as Henry listens to events going on around the world.
The Henry Morgan Show? Eversharp, manufacturers of Eversharp Chick injector razors and blades and famous Eversharp precision writing instruments, brings you the Henry Morgan Show, featuring Bernie Green and his orchestra and a few surprises. Good evening, anybody. Here's Morgan. Good. Thank you very much. You know, here it is, summer, and I'm still in this stuffy studio, looking at the same old faces and telling the same old jokes. And it's nice outside. And I'd like to get out of here. Other guys in radio get out. When a news broadcaster gets bored, he says, "We take it out to London, to Portugal." Whether you want to go or not, he goes. Well, I want to get out of here, like a news broadcaster, and have the equipment, studio, microphones, pad announcer. Come on, Charlie, let's get out of here. Okay, Henry, okay. We bring you Morgan's Around the Globe newscast with 200 listening posts and 1 Saturday evening post. Sponsored by... Henry, you want a sponsor? Sure. Nothing like a sponsor to give a program pep and money. Okay. Sponsored by the Noog Watch Company, maker of Noog watches. Noog, a name of distinction. When you hear the time signal, it will be 10 p.m. in exactly 1 second. Darn that watch. Well, we now take you for a round-the-globe news trip to... The time is now, well, around 10 o'clock. Time for another trip around the globe with Henry Morgan. Around the world! For our first on-the-spot broadcast, let's find out what's happening in far-off Philadelphia. The next voice you hear will come to you from Philadelphia. Come in, Philadelphia. Come in, Philadelphia. Come in, Philadelphia.
Hello, New York. I can't hear you, New York.
Keep trying, Philadelphia. Now, while we're waiting, we take you to a vibrant center of news in the making, the strategic listening post of the Midwest. Let's find out what people are thinking in East Trash, Kansas. Come in, Can.
This is East Trash Can. Hello, New York.
Hello, what's new, East Trash?
Nothing much. What's new with you, New York?
Can't kick. What are the people of East Trash, what are they saying about the all-important veto question in the United Nations?
Nothing much.
Well, give the regards of the people of the city of New York to the people of East Trash.
I'll tell them both.
And so we leave East Trash. Our next stop in this news survey is
Philadelphia. I can't hear you, New York.
Keep trying, Philadelphia. Now, at terrific expense, we've made arrangements to contact the South Pole expedition with Admiral Richard E. Penguin. Come in. Come in, Admiral Penguin. Open the igloo, Richard.
While we're trying to contact Admiral Penguin,
I got him. Come in, Admiral. Thank you, Admiral.
Before our next stop on our round-the-globe tour, a message from our sponsor, the Noog Watch Company.
Ladies, I'm sure you'll all agree with me that every lady should have at least one Noog in her lifetime. This year, everybody's giving Noog watches. Except, of course, the Noog Watch Company. Just listen.
Here, open the box, Sadie. Oh, Max.
Look at it.
Oh, Max, it's a goon. You're holding it upside down. Oh, of course. It's a Noog. How could I be so stupid?
I don't know. You like it?
Oh, yes. When you got a Noog on your wrist, it gives your wrist that fat look.
Back to our round-the-globe broadcast. We switch you now to the town of Stink Bomb, Idaho, for a special broadcast from our on-the-spot reporter, Abe Snake. Come in, Abe.
This is Abe Snake on the roof of the Stink Bomb Chamber of Commerce building. And 5 stories below me on the 19th floor of the building, a window washer named Snag Werris is dangling in midair, held to the window only by a thin safety belt. The wind is now blowing to the east, and so is Mr. Werris. Standing next to me, looking down at her beloved husband, is Mrs. Werris. Ah, Mrs. Werris, how do you feel looking down at your heroic husband?
I'm dizzy.
Well, one more question. As you look down at your husband dangling there in midair, what are you thinking right now?
I never knew he had such a flat head.
Thank you, and good luck, Mrs. Werris.
Well,
Well, what?
where's the refrigerator?
Later, Mrs. Werris, later. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our engineers have lowered a microphone to Mr. Werris himself, that courageous, heroic gentleman who has battled the elements for 4 long hours without a whimper. And the next voice you hear will be that of brave and fearless Mr. Werris.
Help!
Thank you, Abe Snake. And now we take you on our Round the Tube World broadcast. Maybe it was written that way, but I doubt it. We take you to Fearless Fosdick in the turbulent areas of Saudi Arabia, where Mr. Fosdick has set up a microphone on top of an Arab chieftain. Come in. Come in, Fearless Fosdick.
Hello, New York. This is Philadelphia. I can't hear you.
Shut up, Philadelphia.
Help!
Shut up, Mr. Werris. Shut up. Well, some of it was a little ridiculous, but it's pleasant. Around the World with Charlie Haywood. Tonight, Charlie has a little old classic song that he sings in, about 5 languages.
Il vecchio Donaldo aveva un poder funicola e aveva molti pulcini e gattini funicola con un cic qui e un cic là. Qui un cic là, un cic non lo un cic con perfetta, qui un porla, un per. Старый чок Николай Макдональд жил на колхозе. Очи черный. И на колхозе большой великий свинья. Очи черный, очи страсти. И позакуска здесь, и позакуска там. Здесь позакуска, там позакуска, здесь позакуска. Куна чик вы, и un чик ла. Куи un чик ла, un чик но ле, un чик куна Куи un порла, un Der alte Junker von Donald hatte einen Pachthof. Schnitzelbank. Und auf dem Pachthof hatte allerlei junge und alte Pferde, Hühner, Ochsen und Kinder, Siegfried, Karl, Wolfgang, Wotan, Fritz, Brünnhilde und 2 Lämmelein. Schnitzelbank. Mit einem Meck hier und einem Meck dort. Hier ein Meck, dort ein Meck, überall ein Meck. Potakuski здесь, Potakuski там. Здесь Potakuski, там Potakuski, здесь Potakuski. Un chic oui, un chic là. Oui, un chic là, un chic là, un chic là. Oui, un porla, un Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O.
The ever-sharp Schick injector razor changes blades automatically, sells for $1.25, and saves you lots of time. For example,
a man named Buzznarker shaved with an ever-sharp Schick razor and saved 4 minutes.
Buzznarker's wife knew that he had 4 extra minutes and asked him to open a can of soup for her. He took the can opener, and when he tried to puncture the can, it slipped into his finger. The cut became infected. He got blood poisoning. Lockjaw set in. He died of starvation. Next case.
A man named Krubish shaved with an ever-sharp Schick injector razor and saved 3 minutes.
Krubish had 3 extra minutes, so instead of running across the street for his bus, he decided to walk across the street. A taxicab killed him. Next case.
A man named Bulb Snatcher shaved with an ever-sharp Schick injector razor and saved 2 minutes.
Mr. Bulb Snatcher decided to use the 2 minutes to run down to the basement to see if the furnace was all right. At that moment, the coal truck arrived and dumped 2 tons of pea coal on him. Later, the automatic stoker fed him to the furnace. Remember, the ever-sharp Schick injector razor saves you time. Oh, thank you. That's very thoughtful of you. Has this ever happened to you? You're walking along the street with your girl, trying to figure out how to spend the evening, and you stop in front of a store for a minute to look at the paper to see what's playing in the movies. There's a fella standing there, but you don't pay any attention to him. You don't find out till later that he's a professional advice giver. And you say to your girl,
"Oh, honey, we're in luck."
Really? What is it?
Oh, here's a picture I've been dying to see. The Woman in Black. I hear it's a great mystery.
Oh, good. I love mysteries. I'm sure it's wonderful.
Pardon me, lady.
Yes?
It's a stinker.
What?
A stinker. I just seen it.
Oh, really? I hear it has a very good surprise ending.
The end? Why, the Undertaker did it. You won't find it no surprise.
Not anymore.
Tell you what you better do, Mac. You folks better go across the street and see the Woman in Blue.
No, I can't stand the leading lady.
You'll love her. In this picture, she plays a double role.
Oh, really? What part did she play?
A married couple.
Look, maybe we better just skip the movies and go out to eat. All right, honey?
That's a good idea.
I wasn't talking to you.
All right, dear. Well, goodbye, sir, and thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
So long, and thanks for all...
Bud, by the way...
Yes?
Where you going to eat?
Well, we usually eat at Romaine's restaurant.
Hasn't the Department of Health closed that yet?
Why, everything's fresh in that restaurant.
Fresh? Why, they used the mold off of the bread there to make penicillin.
Look, thanks, Bud, but we're going to Remains. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Come along, dear.
Well, I'm not going. I don't want to eat penicillin.
That's the girl.
Look, you keep out of this. Honey, you like Remains. I've taken you to eat there every night this month.
Hasn't he got any imagination?
Haven't you got any imagination?
Will you do me a favor and shut up?
How dare you talk to me like that?
I wasn't talking to you.
He shouldn't talk that way to anybody.
You shouldn't talk that way to anybody.
What are you, a parrot?
Let her alone. She's got a right to free speech.
I've got a right to free speech.
Look, why don't you go home?
I'm going.
Not you, you.
Not me. Free assembly. You know, you folks certainly don't act like you're very fond of each other.
Well, you sure got a nerve. We happen to be engaged.
Engaged, and that's how you treat this sweet girl even before you're married.
I'll treat her any old way I like.
Well, if I was her, I know what I'd do.
What?
John.
Yeah?
Here's your ring back.
That's telling him.
That's telling him. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Not you. Him.
Now look what you've done, Mac. She's left you.
Left me. You don't think she'll come back?
Never. That girl hates your guts.
Oh, that's impossible. I can't live without that girl.
That's right. She's in your blood.
Oh, I feel like killing myself.
Well?
I know what I'll do. I'll shoot myself. That's what I'll do. I'll shoot myself.
Don't be a fool.
No?
Listen to me.
What?
Mac, the Brooklyn Bridge is only 2 blocks away.
And now, kiddies, it's time for Uncle Henry to read the funnies. Now, the funnies Uncle Henry is going to read are the advertising cartoons you find at the bottom of the page. When you read the regular funnies in the paper, all you find out is that after 20 years, Orphan Annie is still 8 years old. And that everybody but me is ready for Freddy. But in the advertising cartoons, you really learn something. Here is Uncle Henry.
All right, kiddies. Let's look at the advertising funnies. Here's a funny one. Here's the first one. The title is...
Doctors prove that 2 out of 3 women can have lovelier skin. And 2 out of 3 cannot.
Well, let's look at the funny pictures here. Now, in the first box, you see there, kiddies, they're 2 beautiful young girls. And the funny thing about them is that balloons are coming out of their heads with what is supposed to be human speech printed in them. Now, you see this? In this here balloon coming out of Abigail's head, it says...
Here I am, a ravishing debutante, and nobody takes me to picnics, parties, dances, canoe trips, hikes, baseball games, movies, parcheesi games, or strawberry festivals. I wonder why.
It's that dull, dingy skin you got there. That's the trouble. Even though you're the best friend I got, you probably got the worst face in this here whole town. This whole town of busted shin you tore.
I am also madly in love with handsome Roberto Kumquat, who is captain of the football team, swimming champion, flipper-in of the hounds at the quail shoot, debating champion, and your cousin. But he pays me little, if any, mind.
It's that dull, dingy skin you got there. That's the trouble.
What shall I ever do?
I guess you never heard of the celebrated 14-second cucumber cream plan, did you? Well, under this scientific, tested, and approved plan, which doctors all agree, in impartial surveys made exclusively among independent surgeons and veterinaries, it was proved conclusively.
It was?
Sure. All you gotta do, see, is buy the economy special introductory offer of the $8 jar, see? And then you massage it into your dull, dingy skin for a couple of years.
Now, in the next box, kiddies, we see this beautiful but dingy girl rubbing stuff in her face. And then you look, see, there, in the next box, it's 14 seconds later, and it shows Roberto Kumquat. He sees Abigail, and there's a balloon coming out of his head with an electric light bulb in it. And he says,
Gee, Abigail, let me and you get married.
Then, you see there, kiddies, in the next box, Abigail and her girlfriend are talking again about the marriage, and in the balloons it says...
Oh, Abigail, ain't it wonderful?
Yeah, I guess he don't mind your dull, dingy skin you got there.
that?
Well, kiddies, let's turn the page. Now, on the bottom of this page is the Abba Baba toothpaste funny comic strip. Now, you see there? First, there's a picture of a man in a doctor's white coat with some kind of shiny thingamajig strapped on his head. And he's pointing at us with a little mirror on a stick. And there's a balloon coming out of his head. And in it says,
Yes, Abba Baba toothpaste is the only toothpaste containing oxidol.
Then, kiddies, you see there, underneath that is the title of the comic strip.
What Sis's brother told Sis.
In the first panel, we find Sis and her boyfriend Elmer seated on the living room couch holding hands. That is, Elmer is holding his hands and Sis is holding hers. Sis's little brother, named Brother, enters the room.
Hello, Sis. Hello, Elmer.
Oh, there's Brother. My little brother. Shall we give him a quarter and have him go away, Elmer?
Well, it doesn't matter. If he'll give me a quarter, I'll go away.
But why do you want to leave me, Elmer? There must be a reason.
Yeah, there is a reason. So long.
Well, kiddies, at this, Sis breaks into tears and Elmer leaves. Brother comes over to Sis, pats her tenderly on the shoulder, and a balloon comes out of his head, and it says...
Sis, don't you know why Elmer left?
No, I don't, Brother.
Look, Sis, why don't you see your dentist?
But Elmer is my dentist.
He is? Well, with a jerk like that, seeing him twice a year is enough.
Well, kiddies, that about ends the funnies for this week. There are a couple of more here in the paper. There's one about a stenographer who became a Hollywood star by brushing her teeth. And there's another here about a Hollywood star who became a stenographer by the same method. But they'll keep. This is Uncle Henry saying good night. Hooray! This is a fairly unusual number. This is Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody number 2 by Bernie Green.
week from Sunday, Father's Day, give Dad the keenest gift in town. Choose an Eversharp Schick Injector Razor, the razor that banishes forever 90% of all shaving nuisances. Ends nuisance number 1. No time wasted. Eversharp Schick Injector Razor has been proved at least 50% faster. Ends nuisance number 2. No nicks or cuts. Patented guard bar prevents skin irritation. Even under nose, Eversharp Schick shaves close and clean. Ends nuisance number 3. Nothing to take apart or put together. World's easiest razor to clean. Just rinse, shake, put away. Ends nuisance number 4. No blades to unwrap. Automatic blade changer locks a keen new Eversharp blade, the world's sharpest blade, in place instantly. Yes, it's 50% faster, 100% safer, 200% cleaner. So for Father's Day, give Dad an Eversharp Schick Injector Razor. It's $1.75 value. The Eversharp Schick Injector Razor is priced at $1. 20 blades, 75 cents. Both yours at the special combination price of only $1.25. And there's no better gift at any price. And now, once again, we bring you our Hollywood reporter, Jimmy Morgan, who will tell us all about the doings in the film capital. And here he is, Jimmy Morgan.
Good evening, movie fans. This is your Hollywood reporter, Jimmy Morgan, with news and views of Hollywood. Exclusive. Mickey Rooney is taller than you think if you think he's shorter than he is. Exclusive. The Supreme Court has just ruled that you don't have to see Duel in the Sun unless you want to. Bulletin. The Marx brothers are definitely related. Bulletin. George Brent's first name is the same as Gladys George's last name, though you'd never think it to look at them. Open letter to nobody. Since I am addressing this open letter to nobody, naturally I have nothing to say. And since I have nothing to say, perhaps it is best that I say nothing, but I will not be silenced by such twisted logic. I stand on my rights and state firmly and without fear of contradiction that when I have nothing to say to nobody or something to say to somebody, it amounts to the same thing. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Very truly yours, Jimmy Morgan. Hollywood, June 1st. Today is Sunday. Hollywood, June 2nd. Clark Gable confirmed to rumor today that he may make a picture this year, or he may not. Remember, you heard it here first. Hollywood, June 3rd, 1870. There was nobody here then. Americans in the news. For details, see your local newspaper. Bulletin. When Gregory Peck's shoelace becomes untied, he stoops down and ties it. Think that over, some of you kids who want to attain success without working for it. Attention, New York newspapers. Watch your front pages tomorrow for a front page item. And so this is your Hollywood reporter, Jimmy Morgan, saying good night to you, and you, but certainly not to you.
There's a new experience in writing with the Eversharp CA pen. Its magic sphere rolls ink on dry. Smoother, cleaner, easier. Writes and writes without constant refilling nuisance. CA means Eversharp's exclusive capillary action cartridge. Try an Eversharp CA pen. Great pen value at $15.
I want to thank the producer of this program, because this is the first time, to my knowledge, in the last 8 weeks that I've had a chance to say Morgan will be on the same corner in front of the cigar store again next week at the same time.
Eversharp, manufacturers of Eversharp Chic Injector Razors and Blades invite you to tune in same time, same station next week when Eversharp will again bring you the Henry Morgan Show. This is Charles Irving saying goodnight for Eversharp. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Of course, the easiest way to make sure you get up on time is make sure your jokes stink. No, I mean, if people don't laugh, that doesn't take you over, you know? That's what happens. Morgan was always funny. 78 years ago, June 4th, 1947, the Henry Morgan Show here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. If you like what we do, you can go to classicradio.stream and see how you can support the podcast. Coming up next, Mr. Ain and Jace. No, Mr. Jane and Ace.
Every family should have a home shelter area. Every family should stock that shelter area with a 2-week supply of food and water. Prepare now to survive disaster.
Now we go back 77 years, June 4th, 1948. Mr. Ace and Jane, starring Goodman and Jane Ace, as Ace tries to explain to the advertising company that Jane is for real.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. And this is WCBS, New York. 8 p.m. BULOVA, Bulova watch time. Bulova, gift of a lifetime. Say, tell Danny Thomas that his new neighbors are moving in. That's right, in just a moment, Mr. Ace and Jane move into the opening spot in our regular Friday night laughter lineup. Followed at 8:30 by The Danny Thomas Show. Jell-O, with its 6 delicious flavors, presents Mr. Ace and Jane with that new comedy flavor. Jell-O, America's favorite gelatin dessert, presents the new weekly half-hour comedy series starring radio's original comedy couple, the Aces. Tonight's Chapter 17 in the story of Mr. Ace and his wife, Jane, wherein Mr. Ace is assigned by the advertising company where he works to prepare a radio program about a married couple where the husband is constantly upset by the ridiculous things his not-so-bright wife does. But the sponsor doesn't like it because he feels nobody could be as dumb as the lady on the program. Or as Mr. Ace puts it, that is no lady, that is my wife. This has got to be a tricky deal. I'll tell you all about it in half a mo. I think I'll take that half a mo to tell you about Jell-O in those 6 delicious flavors. Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. Each one shimmering with fruit-rich color, tempting with famous locked-in flavor. Flavor that's sealed right into the Jell-O so it can't get out till your first delectable spoonful. That's why Jell-O tastes so rich and good, it reminds you of the real ripe fruit itself. That's why Jell-O is America's favorite gelatin dessert. And now, Mr. Ace, what was that about a radio program?
Well, first I want to say that the 2 principal characters in this story are not fictitious. Very often I wish to heaven I were. And any similarity to persons alive or on transcription is purely intentional. Jane and I, the 2 principal characters I'm talking about, are the typical average couple living in a typical little eastern town called New York City. Population 8 million. Give or take one. And if you're going to take one, take my brother-in-law, Paul. Jane's brother, Paul, is a supporting character in this story. That is, I've been supporting this character for 15 years. Paul hasn't been able to find a job since I married his sister.
I haven't been able to find a job since he married my sister.
He borrows money from me and goes out to the track with every cent of it.
I borrow money from him, and I keep track of every cent of it.
He finds Jane and me a very soft touch.
The easy aces.
No schmo, he. He knows Jane will protect him.
He knows I'll always protect him.
Jane keeps telling me Paul's going to make a lot of money in one fell swoop.
Paul's going to make a lot of money in one swell swoop.
There's nothing I can do about it because Jane's got me in the hollow of her hand.
There's nothing he can do about it because I've got him in the hollow of my head.
The other morning, Jane and I were having breakfast when who should drop in but her brother, Paul. I don't mean to sound surprised because Paul does this every morning. You see, he lives up on 141st Street and we live on 76th Street. Every morning he starts out to have breakfast in a drugstore on 47th Street. But to get there, he has to pass through our kitchen. It's a shortcut. It saves him, about 65 cents.
Ah, good morning, folks. I was just on my way downtown to the drugstore, and I thought I'd amble by and
Look,
see how...
Amble, don't go through that same routine every morning. Just sit down and eat.
Oh, breakfast. Thank you.
Orange juice, Paul?
Yeah, double, Jane, please.
Here you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, brother, I was going to come down to your office to see you today, but I know how busy you are down there, so you're lucky I found you at home.
Oh, I was born lucky.
Oh, hot biscuit, fine. Well, brother, do you know that it was just a year ago today you lent me $100 to buy a couple of suits? 1 year ago to the day.
Happy birthday.
Birthday? This isn't your birthday, is it, Paul?
Oh, no, sis.
Oh, I didn't think it was, because I always remember to get you some little pimento.
Pass the cheese, Jane.
Help yourself, Paul. Dear, aren't you eating too many biscuits?
The condemned man ate a hearty meal. Paul, how much did you want to... what did you want to see me about?
Well, I have an income tax payment to make next week, and I haven't...
Income tax? What are you paying income tax on? You haven't worked since I've known you.
Well, last March, all the boys were making out their income taxes, and, well,
You went along with the gag?
Yeah. No, but... How would it look if I didn't turn in one? So I filled out a tax blank and made myself up a pretty good income, and now I have to pay $250 every 3 months.
$250?
Well, that isn't much on $15,000 a year.
$15,000?
Believe me, I had to cut plenty of corners in getting Jane in as a dependent, too.
Jane?
Oh, isn't that sweet? He remembered me.
Oh, fine.
Have some more biscuits, Paul.
Isn't that awful? Paul, I am not giving you another cent.
Now, dear, relax.
I will not relapse. I'm going to relapse.
Now, dear, Paul's my brother, my own flesh and bone.
That's routine.
And if he needs money, I don't know who should lend it to him but us. And if I'm wrong, I'm not far from it.
But, Jane, I've given him money all my life.
Oh, so you gave him $20 once, maybe twice. That's all I ever saw you give him, $20 a couple of times.
Oh, you and your 20/20 vision.
Can I have some more hot coffee, sis?
Put that stuff down.
And some more biscuits, Jane, see?
Look, Paul, see? $15,000 a year. You couldn't have not made $10,000 a year instead of not making $250 every 3 months. Well, I'm not going to pay for it, even if I have to go to jail. For what? What am I talking about? Oh, I have to get downtown. I hope you're satisfied. You got me all nervous and my digestion's upset.
Dear, shall I fix you some bichloride?
No. Yes, that's an idea. I'll get some on the way downtown. $15,000 a year. I don't know why I get so upset over these things. It's been going on for years. Since the day I married Jane, and Paul asked if he could come along on our honeymoon. And I said no. And Jane said, oh, let him come along, dear. He's never been on a honeymoon. $15,000. At that, Paul and I have something in common. I work for an advertising firm, and I don't make $15,000 a year, too. But I have to work hard for what I don't make. Oh, I ought to tell you, the advertising firm I work for is Sutton, Dutton, Mutton, and Norris. I don't know how he got in there. In the trade, you know, advertising agencies are known by their initials. Sutton, Dutton, Mutton, and Norris are known as SDMN. And the firm of Lacey, Sullivan, Maxwell, and Finnegan is known as LFMF. Nice opening there for a man named Thompson, isn't there? Then there's the advertising firm which did such wonderful work on bill posters during the war, asking America to go all out. The firm of Foster, 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 and Foster, known to the trade as 4F. My boss is Mr. Norris. Mr. Norris talks like a copybook. He believes a man's best friend is his motto.
Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today.
He's been married 3 times.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
But in spite of his corny talk, I like Mr. Norris. He's a lonely man. He has no children.
If at first you don't succeed...
Yes. That's Mr. Norris, and when I arrived a little late at the office that morning, he was there ahead of me, waiting.
Mr. Ace, the early bird catches the worm, I always say.
Yes, you do. And I'm sorry to be late, Mr. Norris. I had a little domestic problem to take care of at home.
A man's home is his castle, I always say.
That's your privilege. It was my brother-in-law again. I take a lot of abuse from him.
Take a little, leave a little, I always say.
I try, yeah.
But we have a little problem here, too, Mr. Ace, the advertising campaign for our automobile account.
Oh, yes, they want to put on a radio program, I hear.
Not a radio program, Mr. Ace. They have their minds made up for one specific program, Mr. and Mrs. King.
King?
Yes. Remember the comedy team that had such a long run and then suddenly retired from broadcasting? She was the dumb wife and he was the suffering husband.
Oh, yes, the Kings. Yes, they were quite funny, I thought. Oh, she used to get him into more silly predicaments.
To each his own, I always say, Mr. Ace. I never understood their popularity. But this sponsor wants them and it's up to us to get them back. Ours not to reason why, ours but to do or die, I always say.
Yes, I've heard you say that. Well, that's no problem. The Kings, let's get them.
Get them, he says. They don't want to come back to radio.
But why?
That is for you to find out. And it's up to you to convince them that they should come back. I would suggest you get in touch with Mr. King. He's in town now, and persuade him and his wife to come back to radio.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Ace, I needn't tell you that this account means a great deal to us just now. Other advertising agencies are also trying to get the Kings. Interest in them is at fever pitch, but I have confidence that your persuasion will knock the others out cold. Right, Mr. Ace?
Yes, sir. Feed a cold and starve a fever, I always say.
Yes, why didn't I say that?
You will, Mr. Norris. Well, I was quite excited about my assignment to meet the Kings. They used to be my favorite radio program. Next to the American Melody Hour, of course. She used to get him into more silly predicaments. Oh, well, I must take hold of myself. I found the fashionable Fifth Avenue hotel at which the Kings were stopping, and I got there just as they drove off in a taxi. So I asked the fashionable doorman where they went. He spat upon my gabardine, which I happened to be wearing at the time. It was raining, and he walked away. However, a little persuasion brought him around. I slipped him $6,000, which I happened to have on me at the time. And he told me they had gone to 21 for lunch. Club 21, if you don't know, is awfully exclusive. I've never been able to get in there myself. Jane has a little joke she tells on me about that.
He's free white and can't get into 21.
So I decided I'd wait around the hotel till they got back. I took my place in line with the kids standing around waiting for autographs on the street there, and I tried to talk them into lining up alphabetically, but they wouldn't go for that. 2 hours later, the Kings came back. I followed them in and introduced myself. Mr. King came right to the point and told me in no uncertain terms what he thought about coming back on the radio.
I'll come right to the point and tell you in no uncertain terms what I think about coming back on the radio. No.
But why, Mr. King? You were so funny, and your wife, Mr. King.
Don't you ask me that. Don't you dare ask me that.
Ask you what?
The question that made us quit radio. Everybody always asks me the same question. Is your wife really that dumb?
Oh, is that why you...
And everybody always asks me the same question. How could a girl as dumb as you get a man as bright as your husband?
Oh, is that why you
That's
both...
why.
Oh.
After 15 years of that, we decided that the character Mrs. King played was unbelievable. She doesn't exist. There is no person that dumb.
Would you folks come to my house for dinner?
Dinner?
Yes.
Well, thanks, but we're really
Please,
not...
I can positively convince you that you ought to go back on the radio.
How?
Well, if all it takes to convince you is to prove that somebody really is as... Well, just come to my house for dinner. How about tonight?
Well, how about it, Jean?
Well, I don't know.
You won't be sorry. Please accept.
Okay, we'll be there. Don't quite get it, but we'll be there.
Fine. Thank you very much. I'll be by for you at 6 o'clock, okay?
Make it 6:30.
6:30, okay, thanks. Oh, one more thing. Would that is, I mean...
An autograph?
Yeah, would you?
Oh, sure. Here you are.
Gee, that's swell. And yours too, Mrs. King?
Of course.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. King. Oh, you used to get him in the more silly predicaments. Tell me, Mr. King, is your wife really as...
What?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I lost my hand. Fervently clutching their autographs in my hot little hand, I hurried back to the office and tenderly placed them in my collection alongside Buddy Rogers and Rochelle Hudson. Then I called in my secretary, Miss Anderson. Miss Anderson may not be a fast typist, but she is inaccurate. Why don't I fire her? Well, she's Jane's cousin, twice removed. That is, I removed her twice, and Jane got her job back 3 times. I keep suggesting she find herself a husband.
He keeps suggesting I find myself a husband.
She's not exactly unattractive,
I'm not exactly unattractive.
but soon she'll be too old to get married.
I'm not exactly unattractive.
Miss Anderson, call the house. I want to talk to Jane.
Yes.
Then I want you to take a memo to Mr. Norris. I want to make a report on my meeting with the Kings. I think we're going to land them. All I have to do is get Jane to talking.
Hello? Just a minute. Here she is.
Oh, Gimme. Jane, I've invited 2 people to the house tonight for dinner, Mr. and Mrs. King, the radio actors, and I want you to get up a pretty nice dinner. All the trimmings, there'll be just the 4 of us. I know this is pretty short notice, but it's very important. A big deal depends on it, okay?
Who is this?
Isn't that awful?
Oh, it's you, dear.
Surprise?
Dear, that's no way to start a phone conversation. You're supposed to say hello. This is so-so. Who is this? Give the person time to catch her breath.
Look, so-so. This is your husband. Hello.
That's better. Hello, dear.
Now what?
Let me see. What did I call you about now?
I called you.
Oh, yes, about that dinner tonight.
Yes.
Okay, dear, I'll do my best, dear.
Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome, dear. Now you can say goodbye.
Oh, Jane, you kill me.
All right.
Goodbye. Unbelievable character. What a surprise I've got for the Kings tonight. Well, it looked like I was all set. I couldn't miss. But I didn't count on our next-door neighbors coming in to see Jane that afternoon and messing things up. Oh, I ought to tell you that like the typical average family, we happen to live next door to a radio announcer, a fellow named Ken Roberts. You hear him on the radio all the time. I heard him doing a commercial the other day for a cigarette company. He said something like, recently conducted laboratory tests prove that recently more doctors have been conducting laboratory tests than treating patients. I don't believe it. So light up, folks. Statistics prove that where particular people congregate, more folks are lit up than anybody else. Well, that's Ken Roberts, and now get the way he sabotages my little plan. Oh, having company for dinner, Jane?
Yes, Ken, you got here in the nick of time.
Oh, I did?
Yes, we're having some radio people over for dinner.
Oh, a deal Mr. Ace is trying to put over?
Yes, and he says it's very important, and for once, I'd like to do something to help him. But, Ken, what I don't understand about business wouldn't take much.
Well, Jane, if I can help you...
I never seem to know what to talk about to people like that. Not that I want to be a chatterbrain, you understand?
Well, Jane, if you'll just...
I don't mean I want to monotonize the conversation. It's just that I always get my bearings balled up. I never have helped him before, and it's high noon I did. Doesn't it to you, Ken?
Oh, sure I do.
Well, then, Ken, what do radio people talk about?
Well, mostly themselves.
Themselves?
Yeah, they talk about how their Hooper ratings are beginning to drop off around this season of the year.
The Hooper?
And how difficult it is to get up a different radio show every week and make it sound fresh and spontaneous.
Spontaneous?
And what's going to happen to radio people when radio is taken over by television?
Television?
Just keep the conversation going about radio all through dinner. By the way, what are you having for dinner?
Oh, great big turkey.
A turkey? Oh, no, Jane.
And why not, if I may be so cold?
Well, if you're going to talk about radio shows, turkey has an unpleasant connotation.
Oh, not this one, Ken. It's very fresh.
Well, I wouldn't serve turkey, Jane. And by the way, what are you having for dessert?
Dessert? I'm worried about this turkey I ordered. It's behind me why radio actors won't like turkey.
Well, you might get away with it, Jane, if you top the whole meal off with great big dishes of Jell-O.
That turkey's been locked in the oven for an hour now.
Jell-O is rich with that famous locked-in flavor.
I could get steak or roast beef, but that's 6 of one and a half a dozen of the other.
Yes, 6 delicious flavors, 1/2 dozen. Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime.
Steak would be safer. Everybody likes steak.
And everybody likes Jell-O. Why, Jell-O is America's favorite gelatin dessert.
Well, No, thanks, Ken. You've convinced me.
Yeah? Gonna serve Jello?
F-E-A-K-E.
Oh, but Jane, what about dessert?
Dessert? Oh, I'm serving Jello for dessert. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason, Jane.
Now, Ken, there can't be any argument about Jello. You may know about the meat course, but when it comes to dessert, the things I could tell you about Jello would open your mouth.
You could tell me?
Not now, Ken. I'm busy. But thanks for telling me what to talk about to those radio people. You've done me a wonderful flavor.
Well, if I were a nice guy, I'd skip the dinner scene entirely. But I suffered through it, and so can you. All I wanted to do was convince Mr. and Mrs. King that the dumb girl character Mrs. King played on the radio was not unbelievable. And I figured after they talked to Jane for a while, she could convince them, single-headed. I knew, for instance, if I served a drink before dinner, Jane would refuse hers, like this.
No, thanks. I don't drink anything. I'm a totalitarian.
That's what I had hoped for, and much more. But I didn't even get to the drink. The Kings had no sooner settled themselves comfortably in the living room before dinner when, to my utter amazement, I heard this coming from Jane.
Well, Mr. King, have you noticed the Hooper ratings are beginning to fall off around this season of the year?
Well, yes, Mrs. Ace, I have.
What did you say, Jane?
Radio talk, dear. You wouldn't understand.
Radio talk?
Mrs. King, it must be difficult to get up a different radio show every week and make it sound fresh and spontaneous. How right you are, Mrs. A. You do?
Jane, can I speak to you a moment in the broom closet?
And, Mr. King, what about television?
Ah, that's the question.
Well, wait till I ask it. What's going to happen to radio people when radio is taken over by television?
Very good question, Mrs. Ace.
What do you think, Mr. A?
I think I'll go in and shave, and if I'm lucky, I may cut my throat.
Shave now, dear?
Well, it's very difficult to shave week after week and still be fresh and spontaneous.
What are you talking about, dear?
Shaving talk, dear. You wouldn't understand. Jane, the doorbell.
Oh, I was just going to, dear. I wonder who this can be.
Mighty smart little wife you have there, Mr. Ace.
You do?
How long have you been married to this brilliant woman, Mr. A?
Oh, about 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yes.
Hello, Paul.
Yes, I gotta see that husband of yours.
Yes, fine. Come in, Paul. Oh, you are in. Dear, it's Paul.
Well, hello, brother. Go home. I didn't know you had company.
Oh, well, this is my brother Paul Sherwood, Mr. and Mrs. King, Paul.
Oh,
how do you do?
Hi, folks. What do you want, Paul?
Well, you've got company now. I don't think this would be the time.
No,
dear, I think he's embarrassed in front of Mr. and Mrs. King, but he wants to talk to YOU about lending HIM the money.
Well, welcome back, Jane. I've missed you. Maybe Paul got here just in time. What does he want, Jane?
You know, dear, he wants to borrow some money.
Will the witness speak up? Money for what?
To pay his income tax.
Does he work?
Well, no.
Did he ever work, madam?
Well, no, Your Honor.
Mr. Ace, if you want to talk privately about this family matter, we can easily...
Oh, no. You sit right there. Unbelievable character, huh? Jane, do you think I ought to give him the money?
I certainly do. Paul is my favorite brother.
He's your only brother, isn't he?
Yes, and my favorite.
Your favorite.
He's my own flesh and bone.
Now you're rolling.
Yes, I don't think we ought to discuss this in front
You
of you.
stay out of this. I'll punch you right in the nose.
You'll punch who?
You.
Dear, you're wearing glasses, and so is Paul.
Well, I'll take mine off, and he can take his off, and I'll find him quicker than he can find me.
Dear, relapse. Don't fly off the coop. Remember your blood pressure.
Unbelievable character. And now, madam, will you tell the court, what did you say night before last when all the lights in this apartment went out?
I said it must be a short circuit.
A short circuit.
But I don't see what that's...
And last Sunday when we went to the zoo, what was that about the camel?
I said what everybody knows. A camel can travel 8 days without walking.
Without walking, yes. And when I got home from the office that day and told you my boss was enraged, what did you say?
I said, congratulations.
Yes.
Dear, what's all this got
Jane, would you swear that you said all these things?
Swear?
Would you take an oath that you said them?
Well, this will make you happy. I, Solomon, swear.
Step down, Solomon. The prosecution rep, Mr. King. Unbelievable character?
Mr. Ace, I take it all back. You convinced me. How about it, Gene?
Yes, how about you, Mrs. King?
Mr. Ace, you could have knocked me down with a fender.
What?
If I hadn't seen this with my own ears, I never would have believed it.
Then, Mrs. King, you will come back on the radio?
No sooner said the better, Mr. Ace.
Taste the Smith. Let's eat. And that's how the Kings went back on the radio. They called the act Mr. King and Gene. And it was a big success. You should have heard that studio audience carry on, if you know what I mean. Everybody was most enthusiastic about it. That is, everybody but a character named Frederick Tillerson. He was the sponsor. He collared me right after the first night's broadcast.
Mr. Ace, I think the program's going to be all right.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tillerson. After all, you're the sponsor.
Just one thing I don't like. You'll have to change that character of the wife. Nobody can be that dumb.
Mr. Tillerson, would you come to my house for dinner?
Oh, there he is. Frederick, I've been looking all over for you. You know it's way past your bedtime.
Oh, my dear, this is Mr. Ace. This is Mrs. Tillerson.
I'm happy.
Frederick, we're going home this minute. You've been up since the crank of dawn.
Crank of dawn?
I've sent for the car. It'll be here in a jitney.
In a jitney.
I think he should go right home, doesn't it to you, Mr. Ace?
Yes, I do, Jane. I mean, Mrs. Tillerson. Look who thought the wife was too dumb. The next day, the newspapers reviewed the program, and Variety had one paragraph which read, "The character of the dumb wife is entirely unbelievable." So I called the home of the radio editor, George Rosen, and his wife answered the phone.
No, George isn't here. He went to have his glasses fitted. If it's important, I can give you the name of the optimist.
Optimist. Would you ask him if he'd like to come to dinner? Oh, never mind. Goodbye, Jane. I mean, Mrs. Rosen. And that night at home, Jane started in.
Dear, I think that character is too unbelievable. Of course, that's just between you and me and the lampshade.
Jane, would you like to come to dinner? Oh, no, Jane, from anybody but you.
What do you mean, anybody but me? I've got a right to my opinion as well as everybody else. We're all cremated equal.
Doesn't that burn you up?
I simply said the character is unbelievable. No husband could be that dumb.
Oh, you thought the husband was dumb, isn't that?
In just a moment, I'll give you the title of next week's Chapter 18 in the story of Mr. Ace and Jane. Say, I found something in the Ace's kitchen that looks quite interesting. A scrapbook full of recipes written out in Jane's own handwriting. They read just like Jane talks, but I did manage to unscramble one of them. It's called Cardinal Pear Mold, and it's a swell, simple Jell-O dessert that looks and tastes like a million. You dissolve cherry Jell-O in 2 cups of canned pear juice and water. Add a dash of salt and ginger. When firm, unmold and garnish with canned pear halves. No trouble, and it's really wonderful. Jane is written by Goodman Ace. Original music conducted by Morris Thurston. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Usually we get the West Coast recordings, air checks off the air. That one was an East Coast from WCBS in New York. The summer replacement, it appears, for Baby Snooks, the Fanny Bryce show, June 4th, 1948, 77 years ago, Mr. Ace and Jane here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll head south down to Pine Ridge, Arkansas in just a moment.
Should public utilities fail in time of disaster, refrigerated foods must be either cooked or eaten before they spoil. If this can't be done, throw it away.
Now let's head back, 83 years to June 4th, 1942 for this episode of Lum and Abner.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Lum and Abner. Yes, friends, it's Lum and Abner time again. And how fitting it is that another old friend of yours, Alka-Seltzer, should bring you these regular visits. For after all, Lum and Abner and Alka-Seltzer do have a lot in common. They're friendly, helpful, and also dependable. Now, if you're one of the few Lum and Abner boosters who hasn't as yet become acquainted with the fast, pleasant relief Alka-Seltzer offers for so many different common ailments, why don't you try it? You're in for a pleasant experience the very first time you take Alka-Seltzer for a headache, a touch of acid indigestion, sour upset stomach, muscular aches and pains, or in that dull headachy feeling of a cold. In fact, we believe one trial will make you an Alka-Seltzer booster, too. So, next time, ask your druggist for Alka-Seltzer. You'll be doing yourself a favor, and Lum and Abner, too. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, Lum managed to get the firm of Edwards and Peabody out of the owl business even faster than Abner got them into it. And now not a single feather is left in their place of business. In spite of losing the goodwill and the business of the Ladies' Woodcraft and Feathered Friend Club, Lum is still trying to promote his greeting card enterprise. As we look in on the little community today, we find Abner in the Jot-'em Down store and library. Grandpap is at his favorite place at the library table, reading some informative volume, as usual. Listen.
In dancing the polka, the gentleman should clasp his partner lightly but firmly around the waist with his right arm.
Grandpap, I don't believe I want to learn no more about dancing today. I know enough about it, I believe.
No, you don't, Abner. Now, this book says if a feller's going to dance, he ought to do it right or not at all.
Well, who said I wanted to dance?
He takes her right hand in his left hand.
Oh, Grandpap.
But he should beware of holding her arm out straight as though he were imitating a windmill. Did you get that, Abner?
I weren't even listening.
Says you're supposed to imitate a windmill. Let's see you try that one.
I ain't going to do no such a thing now, Grandpap.
Listen, Abner, if you expect me to learn you how to dance, you got to do what the book says.
I never asked you to learn me how to dance. This was all your own idea.
We are now ready to describe the steps.
Oh, my.
Now listen to this part good, Abner. The polka is danced in 2/4 time. There are 3 steps to each bar. The 4th beat is always a rest.
Well, that's the part I'll do, that resting. I can do that good.
Wait, don't sit down, Abner. You're just getting started now.
Oh, my.
The steps herewith described are for the gentleman. The lady simply reverses them, using her left foot for her right.
Now, that's downright silly. How could she do that? That'd be awful awkward, her crossing her feet over that way, putting her left foot over there to use instead of her right, and then trying to dance.
Well, I don't know. That's what it says here.
What woman is it that dances that way anyway?
It don't say here who it is. But no use worrying about her. You more than likely won't get her for a partner no way.
See about my luck.
First beat, spring slightly on right foot. Go ahead, Abner, spring.
Oh, all right. But if I break my leg now...
That's it. That's the time. At the same time, slide left foot forward.
Oh, Grandpap, I feel silly doing this.
Well, you look a little silly too, Abner, but don't worry. You'll get it. Second beat, bring right foot forward by Glissdale and...
What was that by what?
Glissdale. That's what it's got wrote down here.
Glissdale? Now, who's Glissdale?
I don't know. More than likely that's your dancing partner.
Well, just a minute here now. That ain't the woman with the crossed-up left foot, is it?
Oh, I don't think so.
I bound you that's who it is, and I ain't going to dance with her neither, Grandpap.
Well, that's the way it is in the book, Abner.
I don't care. I ain't going to dance with that Glissdale woman. Either you change that to Elizabeth, or I won't even go to the dance. Well, wait a minute. I ain't going to no dance. What's the matter with me?
Well, you might go to one someday, and you'll want to be prepared for it. But I'll change this for you.
Yeah, change it.
Bring right foot forward by Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And at the same time, raise the left foot. Have you got your left foot raised?
Uh-huh.
Then you... Wait a minute. I've got to turn the page here.
Well, hurry up now, Grandpap.
Well, hold your horses, Abner. You want to learn this right.
Well, I can't hold one foot off the floor all day long. Hurry up.
Here we are. And then serve small sandwiches cut in dainty shapes.
Serve sandwiches?
That's what it says.
On one foot?
Well, here, read it yourself.
That's the silliest one dance I ever heard of, Grandpap.
Well, I admit it does appear to be a little peculiar, but Maybe we're getting old-fashioned, Abner, behind the times.
Well, now-
Something new, I reckon.
If this is the way they're dancing nowadays, I know I ain't gonna take it up. Dogged, I'd be the laughing stocks of the whole town, hopping around in the middle of a dance floor on one foot carrying a plate full of sandwiches.
Cut in dainty shapes, it says.
I don't care what shapes they're cut in. You can just count me out, Grandpa.
Wait, Abner. Don't put your foot down yet.
Well, I'm tired.
Just seen I made a mistake here.
Mistake?
Yeah, that's a gooder know me. I turned too many pages. What's the matter?
Well, hurry up and find out what I'm supposed to do with this left foot of mine then. I'm getting tired of standing this way. Hurry up now, Grandpa, if you're going to.
For goodness sakes, what's the matter with you, Abner?
Huh? Oh, howdy, Lum.
What do you stand on one foot for? You think you're a crane or something?
No, Grandpap just found a book in the library on dancing and stuff, and he's bound and determined he's going to learn me to dance.
Yeah, it's a handy thing to know, Lum. Would you like to join the class? You can be Abner's partner here. No, I ain't got time for no such foolishness as that, Grandpap. You just sit there and learn how to dance by yourself. Yeah, that's sort of hard to do, Lum. Not for a genius like you. Don't bother us now, Grandpap, because I want Abner to help me with a new idea I got.
A new idea? What is it, Lum? Has it got something to do with the store or with the Eddards Publishing Company?
It's for the publishing company. Greeting card department.
Well, what is it?
Say, Lum, if I'm going to take up dancing, I believe I better go home and get some rest first. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Grandpap.
good idea.
Yeah. So long. Just reading here. And some of these steps here look uncommonly hard to do. Now, here's one that says
don't
you've
read
got to
it
take
to
your
us,
left foot.
Grandpap. Just go on home and get some rest. That's what you need.
Yeah, it's a good idea, Abner. Believe that's just what I'll do. Glad you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see you fellers later on. So long.
So long,
So long,
Grandpap.
Grandpap.
One worry feller to death. Dancing.
There's one feller that would be a heap better off if he'd never learned how to read, you know.
Yeah, he would. I wish he never had to learn. Well, what's this new idea of yours, Lum?
Well, we won't make no money out of this, but it's an awful good thing to do.
Tis, huh?
Yeah. We're going to print up some big birthday greeting cards and send them to all the Pine Ridge boys that went in the Army or the Navy.
Oh, well, that sounds good. But now, what if it ain't their birthday, though, Lum? That'll be a little silly sending them a birthday card when it ain't their birthday.
Well, we can find out about that.
Huh?
See, what we got to do is call up their mamas and papas and find out when their birthdays is.
Oh.
And then about a week or so before we send a greeting card to whatever boy's having a birthday, why, we'll put his greeting card on the counter where everybody can see it. Set it right over there by the cash drawer.
Uh-huh.
And we'll put a pen and ink right next to it.
Well, what's that for?
Well, you see, I want everybody in town or everybody that comes in here to write something on that card.
Oh.
See, we're going to make the cards pretty big and leave the second page of it blank, and that's where folks can write down some little thing they want to say to the boy.
Oh, I see. And this way, why, it'll just be like getting a letter from the whole town.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
know,
one.
make them feel awful good.
Oh, why, sure.
Everybody recollecting them on their birthday.
Yeah, it'll be just like getting a newspaper from home, is what it'll be. Tell them all the news.
Well, we want all of our soldiers to know how proud we are of them and how much we appreciate what they're doing for us back here at home.
Why, sure. Doggers, I'm for this idea. Yes, sir, I'm for this. That's the best thing I've heard of yet, Lum. Well, let's get started on it right away, then. You want me to call up Miss Macmillan and ask her about Ernest's birthday? Ernest, he's in the Army, you know.
No, I've done talked to her.
Oh.
She said Ernie's birthday ain't till October.
Oh, October, huh?
Said, though, she thought the Blevins boy's birthday was pretty soon now.
Blevin. Oh, Robert Blevin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get hold of Miss Blevin right now.
Yeah, ought to do that.
You recollect what their ring is?
Yeah, let's see. I believe it's 2 longs and 2 shorts. I believe it is something like that.
Yeah, that sounds like it. I'll try that.
Yeah, ring that anyway. If it ain't them, you can talk to whoever you get. They might have a boy in the Army. Well, sir, I know them soldier boys will love to hear from home. That's the way they'll hear from all their old friends at one time.
Yeah, and it'll remind folks to send the boys birthday presents. Hello,
sure.
Is that you, Miss Blevin?
It's the best idea I've heard.
Ma? Oh, hello, Aunt Charity. What you doing over there? No.
Thought he'd gone the wrong place.
Really? Oh, my goodness. Well, when did they find out, Aunt Charity? Well, I do know.
What is it, Lum?
Did they get any details? Uh-huh. Yes, Mom. Granny, that sounds like Robert, all right. There's a boy you could always depend on to do something like that.
Oh, he's a fine boy, that boy is.
Well, you go ahead, Aunt Charity. I won't bother you no more right now. But tell Miss Blevin, tell her... Well, you know better than me what to say, Aunt Charity. Yes, Mom. All right. Goodbye.
Lum, you forgot to ask when Robert's birthday is.
Abner, Robert ain't gonna have no more birthdays.
Huh? You mean... Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my goodness.
But he's done just what you expect him to do. He went down fighting. And fighting again pretty heavy odds, too. Taking 5 airplanes to get him.
5?
Yes, sir. And he could have got away and saved himself, but he kept on fighting so that some of his buddies in another airplane could get away.
Well.
Their guns had been shot away, and they couldn't fight no more. He stayed up there and fought it out with them.
That dog is good for Robert.
Abner, we ain't going to let him get away at this.
Well, what can we do, Lum?
I'll show you. First thing we're going to do is get everybody on the party line.
The party line?
I'll give the fire alarm ring. That'll get them to listen in.
Yeah, well, what you going to tell them, Lum? What you calling them for?
Tell them, wait a minute. Hello, everybody. This is Lum Edwards. There ain't no fire. I just wanted you to listen in so I could tell you something. It's an alarm, all right. I don't know how many of you folks know about Robert Blevin yet, but Bob's a hero now.
Yeah, bless his heart.
He's been doing some good work with his airplane over there in the Pacific, but he fought his last battle the other day, and he fought it for us. It weren't one airplane that got him, or 2 or 3. It taken 5 of them to do it. And right there's where the enemy made its biggest mistake. Robert Blevin is a Pine Ridge boy, and Pine Ridge ain't going to take this setting down. We're going to get every one of them 5 airplanes. And here's how we're going to do it. All of you folks is pledged to give 10% of your earnings for war bonds and stamps. Well, that ain't enough now. Every citizen of Pine Ridge has got to give more than that. Not only this week, but every week. We got to keep it up till we got things evened up for Bob. So start buying them war bonds and stamps right away, folks. You can get them at the post office or the bank, but start getting them. Because you're buying these for Robert Blevins and boys like him.
And that's what we all should do, folks. Buy, and keep buying war bonds and stamps. Remember that, will you? And say, too, if you're doing your part further these days by working harder than ever on the job, listen to this. You'll find it mighty wise to keep a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets at your place of work. And whether you work in one of the defense industries, an office, a store, or on the farm, you just can't afford to let a headache, a sour upset stomach, a touch of acid indigestion, or muscular aches and pains keep you from putting in a full day's work every day. So be prepared for the discomfort and the costly slowdowns these common ailments can cause. Never be without a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets handy, both at home and at work. Remember, Alka-Seltzer contains not one but several tested ingredients which go to work fast to help you feel better. So keep a package of Alka-Seltzer tablets on the job, or you can never tell when you'll want the relief they offer. See your druggist right away. The sooner the better.
The first war casualty of Pine Ridge, on this date 83 years ago, June 4th, 1942. Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And as you know, as we say about these shows, everybody got into the war effort and supported the war effort. Could you expect less from Chester Lock and Norris Goff? Really? Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, Westerns with Have Gun Will Travel, Gunsmoke, Frontier Town, The Challenge of the Yukon, and another episode of Lum and Abner. Have yourself a great Wednesday. We'll see you on Thursday for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.